Oh, my goodness, man. What a week. What a week. JD, what am I looking at here? Why don't I see your majestic beard and you talking about the top stories of the week in WWE? Well, according to James, I am the biggest piece of shit in the entire YWC. You see, I put my email on my Twitter profile for business inquiries only. James, the WWE guy, takes it upon himself to leave this fine piece of information in my email. So I figured I would share it with all of you guys. James Sheamus 23 at gmail.com. This is what James has to say. Hey, JD, I just want to let you know that you're the biggest piece of shit in the whole YWC. All you do is talk about Roman Reigns and use him in every one of your thumbnails to get views, you fucking asshole. He is, in fact, of the WWE. So right off the bat, we see that James has run-on sentences with absolutely no educational value behind them. And Roman Reigns is the fact of the WWE. I'm sorry, Mr. Sheamus. Did you mean face of the WWE? Yeah, maybe you should go back to the second grade and learn proper grammar at an early age. Fucking asshole. He is the fact of the WWE, so get over it, bitch. And if anyone else, or anybody else, would have cut the same promo that Roman did on Brock, you would praise it up and down. Go to hell and be with your grandpa, fucking loser, and keep selling those ugly fucking t-shirts, you dick in the booty ass fuck boy. Oh my God, man. I gotta read that line. Again, man. Go to hell and be with your grandpa, fucking loser, and keep selling those ugly fucking t-shirts, you dick in the booty ass fuckboy. Oh my God, man. Oh my God, man. Jesus Christ. I needed a laugh, man. I needed a good, hearty laugh. James Sheamus, 23. Oh my God, man. People, please. If you have children or you're about to be a new parent, please raise your children the right way. This is our current society. It's amazing to me how many people just spew hate in my direction, and then they want to know why I bench people or block people on Twitter. Do I really need that type of filth polluting my timeline? It's amazing to me how many people want me to fail. It's amazing how many people will celebrate and dance in the streets when I fail. Motherfucker, I'm only getting started. I'm going nowhere. This podcast hasn't even begun yet, and we're already 212 episodes in. So James Sheamus and everybody else that wants to see my demise, shove it up your fucking pee hole, you fucking cocksuckers. Anyway, let's get on with the WWE news. Let's talk about the week of WWE, man, as we always do here to start off the script. Let's start with Monday Night Raw, and you can't see it in the corner of my my piece of shit room here. There's vomit all over the floor. Remnants of Monday. Not from Roman, but from what WWE had Paul Heyman do. WWE had Paul Heyman go out there and give this promo that underneath it all, just kind of try to get Roman and the Roman initiative over. You know, they even had Paul Heyman come out with a mock Universal Championship. Probably something off of WWE Shop. It wasn't the one that Brock Lesnar usually parades around and doesn't defend. It didn't have the Brock Lesnar side plates like we're accustomed to seeing. He put over the belt. And the fact that if you're the Universal Champion, that means you're the best in the world, the biggest dog in the yard, the one everybody that is going to pretty much be setting their eyes on. Blah, 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 blah. So they're already giving you predictive programming. WWE wants to instill it in your brain from the mouth of Paul Heyman that when Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar, that Roman Reigns will be all of those things. And we know he is not. We know that he is not. I am sick to my stomach over the fact that people are still blind to the fact that this Roman push, going on 4 years now, you think after 4 years you would have a better understanding of what you're watching. It's mind-boggling to me how people sit and are utterly fucking stupid to what they are actually watching on TV. Before Roman Reigns even came out last week, I knew what was going to happen. We've seen it already for 4 years. I mean, it started at the this year I'm talking about. It started at the Elimination Chamber. If you thought what happened inside the Elimination Chamber with Roman getting one spear on someone who eliminated 5 other men before him was the worst of it, you haven't seen anything yet. This is not even the tip of the iceberg with this Roman political agenda bullshit that WWE is going to shove down your throats. I'm assuming that Brock Lesnar is out of the WWE after WrestleMania. In fact, whatever I had reported on Off the Script Extra with Brock Lesnar and that story that was reported by the Dirty Sheets podcast, I went back, watched my own work, listened to what was reported, and people who are in the know, reached out to me and slipped into my DMs. I know with 100% factual evidence that whatever Bill Body and the Dirty Sheets podcast reported is 100% factual information. That's an exclusive right here. I am not telling you how, when, why, whatever reason. How can you know that, JD? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Whatever he reported, I know is legit information. So Lesnar is out of the WWE after WrestleMania. WWE right now is operating under the fact that Lesnar is going to the UFC. So what they're going to try to do to Brock Lesnar on his way out is they're going to portray Brock Lesnar in the same light that he was in at WrestleMania 20 in Madison Square Garden with Bill Goldberg. Everybody knows that Brock Lesnar is going to be out and wants to go back to the UFC. WWE is going to further push that fact, and they're going to try and gain sympathy for Roman in the aspect of he is pretty much going to defeat Brock Lesnar, the man who never gave a shit about the WWE. He cares more about going back to the UFC, and then when it finally happens, they're going to kick him to the curb. They're going to treat him like a piece of shit because he doesn't want to be in the WWE anymore. He doesn't want to sign a contract extension, which is probably the complete opposite. And again, I've heard from sources that Brock wants to do both. He wants to be in WWE, and he wants to be in the UFC because he wants to maximize his earnings. But WWE is going to turn it because they have to cover their back end. If Lesnar does really walk away from the WWE or he's unhappy with the money that he's going to be offered this time around in WWE, they're going to pretend like this is WrestleMania 20 all over again, and they're going to make Roman Reigns the shining hero who vanquished the villain who doesn't want to be here anymore, in hopes that somehow the fans at WrestleMania are going to admire the Roman Empire. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think WWE is on Dream Street. I think they took too much melatonin and they're fucking walking around with this haze about them all the way till WrestleMania. You know? It's not going to work. Whatever you do from here on out is not going to work. I don't give a fuck if you put the most hated man in the entire universe, whomever that may be, I don't fucking know, in there with Roman Reigns. That individual will probably walk out a clear-cut babyface when in the ring with Roman Reigns. You think the WWE fans are going to cheer Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? At WrestleMania. Does WWE not know the audience that attends these shows? Everybody is a smart mark, pimply-faced fucking wrestling geek who thinks they know it all. They're going to be sitting there in New Orleans hoping and clinging on to the hope that Brock Lesnar somehow retains the title, when in fact it's an inevitability that he will lose the title. And then when Roman wins it and is coronated again, I don't know how much of a coronation you could give this guy. He won the WWE title at WrestleMania 32. What more of a coronation do you fucking need? Now they're going to give him another coronation at WrestleMania 34, and WWE expects a different result. If it didn't happen at 31, if it didn't happen at 32, if it didn't happen at 33 when he beat the fucking Undertaker, you think this is going to have any effect on Roman Reigns after he beats Brock Lesnar? Come on, man. Get it through your skulls. The Roman agenda is a fucking failure. It is a fucking failure. You ever watch Lord of the Rings? I don't know which one it was. You know, what was it? Part 2? Part 2? Or was it, I don't recall which one it was. It was the fucking, the battle scene where you got Saruman's army invading the fucking castles, right? And they got they got his whole army just waiting outside the castle walls with catapults and fucking huge fucking ogres the size of a tree. And you got all these fucking ugly looking goblins, right? You got a whole fucking army for fucking miles and miles and miles and miles. You assemble this army, right? You got the big ogres, right? Behind the catapults, and they're launching fucking huge boulders at the castle walls, and the castle walls are crumbling. It's going to be the Roman Empire at WrestleMania 34. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. When he wins that title and that referee's 3 count is made, you're going to see WWE. Why isn't Roman over? If I need to explain it again to you fucking people, if I need to go to Stamford, Connecticut, which is only a 20-minute drive up I-95 over here, and explain it to fucking himself, then I will, you know? Come on. Give me a fucking break. The other big thing that happened on Monday Night Raw was the lackluster build of Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle finally being officially announced to go 2-on-2 against Triple H and the gargoyle herself, Stephanie McMahon. You know, the one who has the voice that could break glass. Yeah, Stephanie McMahon. I have somewhat enjoyed Ronda Rousey so far. Do I think Ronda Rousey may end up being the biggest signing in the history of WWE? It certainly could be. Certainly could be. Do I think Ronda Rousey is already proving her worth to WWE? Absolutely. I think Ronda Rousey is going to make WWE even more mainstream. I think Ronda Rousey is going to be a vital asset to WWE, getting away from USA Network and getting on Fox 5, going back to 2 hours. If Fox is willing to dump UFC, they know they have huge star power in WWE that could bolster that load. And Ronda Rousey is going to be at the forefront of that. So yes, Ronda Rousey and the investment in Ronda is already going to start paying off. I'm no dummy. But the storyline right now with Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, while the announcement was somewhat predictable after what we've seen at the Elimination Chamber, there are things that I don't like about it. A, Ronda's timing is completely off. Ronda's timing completely off. Just the fact that Stephanie McMahon said that, listen, your contract invites you to WrestleMania. You will have a WrestleMania match. You can choose whoever your opponent is, except a champion. You know, before the drum roll even hit and before Stephanie McMahon even finished her sentence, Ronda's timing was off, which was a little odd and was kind of cringeworthy. She belted out Stephanie McMahon, I want you. I want you. So her timing is off. She's still a little nervous when she's cutting promos. And that is understandable, and I'm willing to give her a pass for a little bit. But as time goes on, she needs to start getting better. Less smiling. I love when Ronda gets intimidated, actually, I don't think Ronda should ever be intimidated just based on who she is. But I love when she gets angry and she starts getting, UFC-style Ronda, and she's got that look like she wants to fucking rip your head off your shoulders. That Ronda. That's what I want to see more of. Okay, you're in the WWE, you signed your contract, you got the fans cheering you and chanting your name, fine. Get all the smiles out of your system. That should have been out of your system already. Now we're getting to WrestleMania, and Stephanie was about to slap you. Triple H is and will continue to, beat down your tag team partner going into WrestleMania. There's no need for smiling anymore. Another thing is that Ronda, a lot of people are saying, this is not the match I want. I'd much rather see her against Asuka or Charlotte. There is something called patience. Patience is a virtue. Why? And this is why I always say wrestling fans are the dumbest fucking people walking God's green earth. Why would you want to see Ronda Rousey, who's never been in a WWE official match? Why would you want to see Ronda Rousey against Charlotte or Asuka? Don't you know that the money in any of those matches is when Ronda can physically carry herself in a match? Why would you want to put her in there with two of the best you have, possibly in the world, in women's wrestling? Why would you want to put her in there with Charlotte and Asuka and have her just embarrass herself on a grand stage like WrestleMania? Do you people think? It's not the time nor the place for that. Let Ronda go into this mixed tag team match. Protect her. Hide her flaws, which there will be plentiful of. Let the tag team match hide her flaws. Highlight her strengths. And then when Ronda comes out of WrestleMania, you book her in a low to mid-card program with someone who is capable of carrying her and, guiding her. And month after month, when Ronda cuts down through most of the roster and when she's hopefully ready for a match like Charlotte, it's going to be that much better. And the money match here is going to be Asuka versus Ronda Rousey. And the money match is going to be with Ronda main eventing WrestleMania. You don't think WWE is going to want to make Ronda Rousey the face of women's wrestling now that she signed for 2 or 3 years, or how many years she signed for? How do you think the women are going to get a main event? And I mean main event by last match on WrestleMania. It's going to be through Ronda Rousey's power and mainstream value. And you're going to utilize that and you're going to put it up against Asuka, who will and should remain undefeated all the way till WrestleMania 35 in New Jersey. You're going to have Ronda undefeated, Asuka undefeated as champion. You can't get more ESPN than that. That's the only way WWE has the women main event a WrestleMania. Me, I would love to see someone that is somewhat homegrown against Asuka. But that's not going to grab the headlines for mainstream attention. Ronda Rousey will. Oh, but JD, what about Sasha Banks and all these other women? They don't have mainstream value. They're not Ronda Rousey. I'm sorry, but not everybody can be a Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is the face of every women's movement when it comes to professional sports. She's at the forefront. So why wouldn't she be there? Why would you want a Sasha Banks or a Becky Lynch when they don't have even half the drawing power of a Ronda Rousey? It doesn't make sense. So Ronda, in a match with either one of those two women, it's not the time or the place. And there are major, things that need to be worked on when it comes to Ronda. And I'm going to cite Justin LaBar on Wrestling Reality this past week on Wednesday. He brought up a huge point that I did not even look at, but when I heard him talk about it, I'm like, holy shit, this guy's fucking right. WWE pretty much gave away the basis of this tag team match. There really is no reason for me to tune in anymore to WrestleMania to see this particular match, when the main selling point was keeping Stephanie away from Ronda. Having her be the coward, because she can't physically intimidate or match up toe-to-toe with Ronda Rousey. And Ronda already got her hands on Stephanie McMahon. She gave her a half-assed fall-away slam. Samoan drop, whatever you want to call it. So if Ronda got her hands on Stephanie McMahon now, why should I be interested in the tag team match? That was the only thing I was looking forward to. And I even brought up the point on my Monday Night Raw review, Ronda getting her hands on Stephanie McMahon, even though I legit hate Stephanie McMahon and her character, I honestly think she brings the quality of the show down even more so than it is. It reeks of old school mentality. You know? It reeks of her being that fucking annoying on television to the point where it actually shows the viewer at home, I want to see this fucking woman get her ass kicked. And it reminds me of, you know, what made me fall in love with professional wrestling as a young child. We all had our heroes growing up. We all wanted to see, well, not me anyway, because I always hated Hulk Hogan. I was more of a Warrior guy. And then obviously I became a Bret Hart guy, and I said, fuck Hulk Hogan, and a Shawn Michaels guy. But, you know, the majority of people, they wanted to see Hulk Hogan beat Sergeant Slaughter. Something as simple as that. I want to see Ronda Rousey beat the shit out of Stephanie McMahon. And it's not because I'm engaged or intrigued by Stephanie's character. I just legit fucking hate her. I want to see Ronda Rousey beat the shit out of her. But it's got that old school feeling to it. But yes, I agree with Justin. It's like, why did they give that away when that was probably the biggest selling point in that match? I don't give a fuck about Kurt Angle and Triple H. 49-year-old COO against a decrepit Kurt Angle with bad knees and a bad back. That's not my selling point. My selling point is Ronda and Stephanie, and you already gave away that on Monday. So you better have something in the bag for WrestleMania on April 8th. But Ronda will get there. I am giving her a shot because I've always enjoyed Ronda as not only a human being, but a performer. And I'm willing to give her a chance in WWE. We're going to talk about Braun Strowman during the podcast because that is the biggest story of today's show. WWE has no plans for Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. I got plans for Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. WWE swallows the fucking cock that's in their mouth when it comes to Roman Reigns. They will have a better WrestleMania main event than what we got right now. SmackDown Live. Speaking of main events, they gave away the Fastlane main event on Tuesday night. Wow. I'm so excited for Sunday. They gave away the Fastlane main event on Tuesday, minus John Cena. And I want to know why I should care about Sunday's match now if you gave it away on Tuesday. I really don't care. You know? WWE thinks that Fastlane is presenting some unpredictable outcome. It could certainly still end up that way because I'm not changing my stance on what's going on with Dolph Ziggler. I'll talk about that as we get into the Fastlane topic. You know, I would not be surprised if WWE gave Dolph Ziggler a 2 or 3 day title reign coming out of Fastlane, and then he drops it either on Tuesday in a rematch, and then, we still get the Nakamura AJ Styles match, or we do indeed get a triple threat match, and WWE fucks everybody over. Dolph Ziggler is the dark horse in that main event on Sunday, and I will go over that again and again and again when we talk about the preview and predictions. But WWE Fastlane, to me, seems more of an inconvenience. It's a speed bump on the road to WrestleMania. It's not needed. WWE could have made it a lot more important than they are presenting right now for Sunday. Even though I do enjoy the John Cena storyline, I think WWE could have gave us John Cena outside the main event against a match with Nakamura. I would have much rather preferred that, but we're getting Nakamura and Rusev, which makes no sense to me because Rusev's the most over guy in the company right now, and he continues to be pushed to the side and forgotten. You know, the 6-man main event, I really don't care. The dark horse Dolph Ziggler is the only thing that I'm concerned about. Kevin Owens ain't winning it. Sami Zayn ain't winning it. Baron Corbin ain't winning it. John Cena certainly ain't winning it. It's either AJ Styles or Dolph Ziggler. That's the only thing we got to be looking for on Sunday. And WWE, like I told you, months and months and months at a time now, they would be foolish to go against AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That is what embodies, to me, WrestleMania. You know, WrestleMania has gone away from, you know, the showcase of the Immortals tagline that they used to always hype. It's all about entertainment now. It's all about getting everybody on the show for the sake of getting everybody on the show. You want a real showcase of the Immortals? What WrestleMania means to me is taking the most important champion in your company, which is always going to be the WWE champion, putting him against the very best that the company has to offer, and that usually is the guy who wins the Royal Rumble. That's why I want this match. This match needs to happen at WrestleMania because we haven't had a WrestleMania match like this that embodies what WrestleMania has been missing for so long, and they would be foolish not to go down that road. Fastlane main event on Tuesday night. I don't give a fuck about Sunday. I'm going to sit and watch it, do what I got to do on here, make some extra money, and then worry about what we're doing for WrestleMania. My biggest question is not who's going to win the main event on Sunday, what's going to happen with everybody else on SmackDown Live for WrestleMania. Those are the biggest questions that need to be answered. The women's division on SmackDown Live continues to be terrible, but there is one shining spot on SmackDown Live's women's division, and that is Ruby Riott. Even though, you know, I haven't been impressed with the Riott Squad, I think they're a waste of fucking television time. I don't mind looking at Liv Morgan, but Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan are what I call not desirable in the ring. I just don't care. Ruby Riott has proved that she is clearly the leader of this group and is going to be a breakout star in this division. We really haven't seen Ruby Riott do what I know she's capable of. I think this match at Fastlane on Sunday is really going to open up a lot of eyes. I think they're going to let Ruby go. Ruby is already very, very good on the microphone. She's very convincing. She carries herself very well. The promo was very well executed. The thing with Ruby Riott's promo is that it came 3 months too late. It came 3 months too late. If you debuted on SmackDown Live, the explanation you gave on Tuesday should have been the explanation on your very first night there. 3 months too late means to me, I don't care. And why should I care when we all know, in the back of our minds, Charlotte is going to WrestleMania and more than likely will challenge Asuka. When are we going to get Asuka to challenge? We could very well see Asuka show up on Sunday night. We might not even have to wait till Tuesday. If I was booking this thing, I'd have Asuka show up on Sunday night as soon as Charlotte pins Ruby Riott with a natural selection. That's what I would do. And then Alexa, you know, who is in this storyline right now with Nia Jax on Monday Night Raw, trying to console her, but at the same time trying to manipulate her. You lost 3 times to Asuka. You should continue to just beat down Asuka because right now Alexa is thinking Asuka is going to be her match at WrestleMania. And, you know, she wants Nia to continue to beat down Asuka so that she's easy pickings for Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania. But that's not going to be because Asuka's going to go on to challenge Charlotte. And then Kurt Angle's probably going to go on to say, listen, well, you don't have an opponent. Why don't you and Nia hook it up at WrestleMania? And again, I wouldn't even go that route, but that's what WWE is going to do. My Women's Championship match is the one that's not happening at WrestleMania. Sasha versus Bayley for the Women's Championship. Alexa versus Nia is no more than a pre-show match. And that's where exactly I'd put it if April 8th comes, and that is the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. But Ruby Riott right now is doing very good work, but the explanation that she gave us on Tuesday night should have came in week 1. Moving away from SmackDown Live because the show is utterly terrible and it just comes off as if nobody cares about it. I went off on Tuesday like I usually do. I don't even want to talk about SmackDown Live, but those are the 2 big things coming out of SmackDown Live. I don't even need to address the United States Championship title situation because I'm not going to sit here and talk about how Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal had another barn burner of a match. Give me a fucking sleep. Give me a break, and it put me to sleep. NXT made the biggest splash of the week, bar none. And it's not even what happened on their television program this week. It's what happened at the TV tapings that took place on Wednesday. Tommaso Ciampa. I want you Roman fans to look at what a real heat magnet is like.
Roman's getting a reaction from everybody. So everybody, look at Roman, he's getting a reaction. He puts people in the seats.
Really now? How many times have I told you that Roman is getting the wrong reaction? Roman is getting the, I don't give a fuck about this guy, please go away reaction. He's not putting people in the seats to legitimately see him lose. He's putting people in the seats, and those people sitting in those seats are vomiting up the fucking $14 Budweiser that they just purchased because they don't want to see this guy. And they're vomiting up the fucking $12 nachos that they fucking bought with some imitation cheese topping. And they're vomiting that up on top of what they vomited up with the $14 Budweiser because of the Roman initiative being shoved down everybody's fucking throat. Tommaso Ciampa got a real reaction from a real performer for all the right reasons. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. And you know what? This man didn't utter one fucking word. He didn't speak one word. And he had people chanting, go away. He had people chanting, you suck. We want Johnny. And then at the end of this all, after a nice 12-minute just fucking stance in the ring where he brings the microphone up to his mouth, right? And then he puts it back down. Every time he lifted the microphone up, people started to boo the shit out of him. When Roman did that on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 33, it was people hating him.
But JD, Roman had the fans in the palm of his hand, man.
No, he didn't. He was going to get that reaction whether he spoke or not. Don't fool me. You can't get one over on me, motherfucker. Tommaso Ciampa did a great job on Wednesday night. And at the end of all this, he took some fucking poor schmuck's Johnny Wrestling sign in the crowd, ran into the ring, and beat the shit out of the sign with his crutch. Tommaso Ciampa may be, being that Johnny is not there right now, substitute one for the other, Tommaso Ciampa right now may be the very best thing outside of the Velveteen Dream on NXT television. Great fucking shit. Our prayers have been answered, and this is some of the best news I think I've heard all year when it comes for NXT. They are giving you another championship title. We now have a mid-card championship in NXT. If you guys don't want to hear the spoilers, I apologize. This is not something that I usually do, but it's too big to not talk about. WWE will introduce an NXT North American Championship, which will debut at WrestleMania and will be decided on at NXT TakeOver New Orleans for WrestleMania weekend. In a 6-person ladder match that will feature EC3, Ricochet, Adam Cole, Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, and my pick to win it all, the Velveteen Dream. WWE better bring it for WrestleMania, man. Just fucking talking about that match and the competitors in that match, I got chills. I got goosebumps talking about that match, man. This is the very best thing that could happen for NXT. NXT's main event title scene is always taken up, and being that there's a span of time in between these takeover events, because they only happen during the Big 5 pay-per-views, Money in the Bank being a Big 5 pay-per-view this year. So there's only 5 takeovers, maybe 6 if they want to get, frisky during the year, but 5 big takeover events during the year to accompany all WWE's main roster big shows. The fact that there's so much time in between these shows, not everybody can be in the main event scene. It's usually somebody 1 against 1. It's never, a fatal 4-way or a 3-way or a 6-way or a 12-way. There's not multiple people vying for the title. And I like that and I appreciate that because it makes the NXT title a little bit more sought after. It makes the NXT title a little bit more prestigious, being that there's only one guy at a time going after it. Plus you got Drew McIntyre coming back. The NXT is fucking stacked. Stacked. Adam Cole should have been in the main event scene already. But you see how much talent has come in to NXT, and he was at the top of the food chain and then got pushed back because of Drew McIntyre's injury. Now you got Ricochet and EC3 coming in there. He ain't moving. He ain't moving from anywhere. He ain't moving from anywhere. This is a great time to be a fan of NXT. NXT has absolutely never looked better than it does now. And I can't wait for TakeOver New Orleans, man. That is my WrestleMania. Adam Cole, also, if you guys don't want to hear spoilers, click off the video now or fast forward about a minute. Adam Cole will be doing double duty at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Bobby Fish unfortunately went down with an injury, which is common knowledge to everybody if you've been paying attention to the news. He's going to be out 4 to 6 months. Vince McMahon, I heard and read, Vince McMahon wanted specifically, personally, for Adam Cole to wrestle not once but twice on TakeOver Saturday. So at TakeOver New Orleans, Adam Cole is not only going to wrestle for the North American Championship, he is going to be part of the NXT Tag Team Championships. Apparently now the Undisputed, and I don't know why they weren't operating under this rule to begin with, but they will have Freebird rule. They will have Freebird rule. So Adam Cole now is, I guess you can label him an NXT Tag Team Champion. He will be defending the Tag Team Championships alongside Kyle O'Reilly against the finals, the winners of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. So NXT right now is looking phenomenal. TakeOver New Orleans is looking fucking phenomenal. I can't wait to see what happens there. I won't go over the card because I won't reveal all the spoilers, but I promise you, trust me, TakeOver, this may very well be the best TakeOver of all time. I can't wait to see what happens, man. That's your week in WWE. We got major news this weekend. I got news on Braun Strowman. We're going to talk about Alberto Del Rio or Alberto Del Retard, however you think about him, possibly coming back to the WWE. WWE introducing yet another set of tag team championships. Not what you think, though, but for 205 Live, tag team cruiserweight championships. We're going to talk about that. I got news on Braun Strowman, WrestleMania 34. I got news on the CM Punk rumors already heating up with All In's venue being announced. WWE planning to move 2 particular new talents already to the main roster. Who are they? We'll talk about that this weekend. More news on John Bravo, my buddy Johnny Bravo, looking to unveil the cloth from the steroid allegations about Roman Reigns. Has a cryptic message about John Cena also being a part of these allegations. News on the Ultimate Deletion, and I got news on who the Bar will face at WrestleMania. This is episode 212 of Off the Script. This is part number 1 to start your Fastlane weekend off the right way. Let's hit the intro music and let's get right into the news and rumors right here on episode 212 of Off the Script. Man, I got a lot of stuff to go over today. Exciting news. I got wrestling news. I got a new sponsor on board with the podcast. Man, we're going to go over all that right here in the second half of Off the Script. I want to thank everybody for all your support, man. I haven't even looked at the numbers yet. I think we finally officially hit 89,000 subscribers, so we are only 11,000 away from that elusive 100,000 subscriber plateau. I can't wait. The silver play button will be mine soon enough, man. I want to thank everybody. If you missed anything that I did this week, man, explosive Monday Night Raw review, SmackDown Live, NXT. I gave you an off-the-script extra where I took one of the most conversational topics in all of wrestling right now, and it always gets brought up this time of year. Does WrestleMania need to go to a 2-day event, or does it need to be a 2-day event? Will it succeed as a 2-day event instead of giving us 7.5 hours of WrestleMania on Sunday night. If you guys want to go check all that stuff out, it's in the annotation that you see within this video in the top right corner of the screen via the YouTube cards. I have a new t-shirt on Barbershop Window, finally, for everybody right before WrestleMania, man. It's another take on the Off the Script logo and the Goon City t-shirt. Look at this, man. New t-shirt from Toxic Smark on Twitter. He is a loyal member of Team JD. His artwork, I put it on a t-shirt, man, and he was fucking excited to know, man. So, bro, if you're listening to me, thank you so much for all your love and support and for this beautiful design. The Get Benched Goon t-shirt, now on Barbershop Window. Get Benched in red, and then Goon in an explosive white font with the exclamation point on the front and that Off the Script signature logo microphone right there coming out of the word benched. If you guys want to go get that, it is available now on barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Go and get that t-shirt. Beautiful new design, available now on Barbershop Window. What is also available, because we sold over 30 in 2 days, because you guys are fucking beast, man. The new limited edition gold foil JD Club t-shirt. This is available for the next week and a half. You guys have 11 days to get this t-shirt, and Teespring wants me to get the message across to everybody. After 11 days, you will never see the gold foil design ever again. So make sure you go and get it. It is available now on teespring.com. I will leave you a link to this design for purchase down in the comments section. I will pin it at the very top. We sold 56 of the Team JD t-shirts in its first campaign. I would love to double that before the 2 weeks is up, man. So let's hit that number of 56 and let's exceed that number for the gold foil, man. If you guys want to get a beautiful t-shirt, WrestleMania is coming up. You'll get it before WrestleMania. All In's been announced. If you're going to be in Chicago for Money in the Bank and All In, there you go. Team JD gold foil t-shirt now available on teespring.com. If you guys want the other t-shirts, I got the Eat, Sleep, Bench, Repeat t-shirt, the Jinder Mahal Failure Raha t-shirt, a take on the classic Ghostbusters design there, and the rest of the t-shirts available on barbershopwindow.com. My favorite being the JD is Negan t-shirt, and I will come out with a new Negan design this spring. I just gotta work on what type of design I want. I want it to be similar to what you see there, just enhanced. So we'll figure that out, man. Barbershopwindow.com and Teespring, great partners of Off the Script. Speaking of Off the Script, man, we have another new sponsor here, and this is the first ever. And you guys know I used to sell high-end watches in my days at Tourneau in Manhattan, and I used to do the whole luxury retail thing. I actually had a watch brand reach out to me and want me to push their product on the podcast, because Off the Script is making waves wherever you are, man. They reached out to me. They sent me some product to show you guys, and I'm going to be wearing this at the House of Glory show tomorrow, man. Look at this fucking piece. It is a gunmetal gray. Let me turn on my camera so I could see. It is a gunmetal gray chronograph steel bracelet. The gunmetal gray is it's a very significant color. You're gonna be seeing a lot of gunmetal gray next week on my Twitter. Don't worry about it. Gunmetal gray chronograph. This is from MVMT, man. Look at the box they send you. Look at that shit. Beautiful, beautiful shit. I'm gonna wear this with my dress shirt, looking sharp tomorrow for House of Glory, kicking it old school in Jamaica, Queens at the NYC Arena Club, Amazura. They sent me this piece, did MVMT, and they are offering you guys a huge discount on a fine timepiece like this. They don't only sell timepieces, but they sell sunglasses as well. If you guys want to go to their website, please go to their website, man. And I will leave you all the information down in the description below. You guys can use at checkout code JD from NY 215. at checkout, and you're going to save $15 off your first purchase, man, or off your purchase. It could be bundled together. It could be separate purchases. JD from NY 215 for 15% off sunglasses and whatever timepiece that they have on there as well, man. So make sure you guys go and do that. They are the newest sponsor of the podcast. Look at that, man. That's fucking beast. This will look fucking sharp as fuck next week. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. So make sure you guys go out and support them. Great new sponsor of the show, MVMT. And this is the inside of the box, man. They give you 2 extra links. Some great shit. You guys can go to mvmtwatches.com. JD from NY 215. And get $15 off your purchase. So please do that, man. As always, you guys know that Harry's is still sponsoring the podcast. Harrys.com/script if you guys want the best shave of your life. Believe me, I got to do it before House of Glory tomorrow. I got to be looking sharp. There's a lot of independent talents going to be at the show tomorrow. Super Crazy's going to be there. Juventud Guerrera's going to be there. Bob Holly's going to be there. We're going to have Mean Gene Okerlund in there. Brutus the Barber Beefcake's going to be there. It's going to be a big deal, man. Kicking it old school House of Glory tomorrow. If you're in Jamaica, Queens, come on down and say hello. I accept Guinness, as always, as a form of payment for hello. I'm only kidding when I say that, but please, if you guys are, inclined to buy me a beverage, make sure it's a Guinness. But you guys know the deal, man. We got Harrys.com/script for your free trial shave set. That's Harrys.com/script. You're going to get a razor blade, razor handle, a razor blade protective case, and their shave gel. All you guys got to do is pay shipping and handling. That's Harrys.com/script. And as always, audibletrial.com/off the script. 1 month free of Audible service, plus 1 free audio book if you guys have already signed up. I'm sure same thing goes for Harry's if you guys have already signed up. I'm sure there's friends, family, colleagues at work, schoolmates. You guys can turn it over, man. Give the gift of Harry's and give the gift of Audible for everybody. That's audibletrial.com/off the script. And as always, follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. And hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for all notifications so that you guys know when I do indeed upload to the podcast. WWE has no plans for Braun Strowman at WrestleMania 34. Are you fucking kidding me? Really now? This guy could be considered the face of Monday Night Raw. He probably is the most over guy on Monday Night Raw. You've put so much into building this guy up and making him look dominant in every situation possible. And when it comes to the biggest show of the year, you don't have any plans for him in New Orleans? Man, if WWE creative is that fucking lazy, then if I were Vince McMahon, I'd fire every fucking one of them. Or maybe Vince McMahon himself. Vince McMahon may be the bumbling fool behind this one. When you consider that pretty much the past year has been built around Braun Strowman, the immediate assumption is that he would be the first name WWE would be looking at to book into a match at WrestleMania in New Orleans next month. However, WWE still hasn't booked Braun Strowman, a.k.a. the monster among men, in a match right now. And fans are left wondering what the potential plans could be for someone who has taken Monday Night Raw over on Mondays and everyone thinks he deserves, a marquee match at WrestleMania 34. However, the whole point of not booking Braun Strowman in a match right now boils down to Roman Reigns and his best friend, his BFF, Johnny Bravo, and the recent scandal that has been involved that could possibly make him miss WrestleMania. And by the way, clowns, and for all you Twitter degenerates out there who I've never had one fucking conversation with yet blocked me because of my disparaging remarks against Roman Reigns, continue to block me. These people still talk about me. They still talk about me. I never once said that I want Roman Reigns to miss. completely WrestleMania. I just don't want him in the main event. If you guys can find where I said I want Roman Reigns out of the WWE, fired, terminated, suspended, please do so. Because it was never said at all. Now, based on that, Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer newsletter this week has revealed that a multitude of roles have been speculated for Strowman and what he could be doing inside of the Superdome. The first is Strowman potentially replacing Reigns in his Universal Championship match against Brock Lesnar. That depends on when his BFF, Johnny Bravo, reveals this information. And by the way, for everybody asking about Johnny Bravo, and
why doesn't he release the information? This guy is all talk, man. Either shut up or release the information, man.
Will you let Johnny Bravo do his thing, please? See, this is what angers me about wrestling fans. They're automatically wanting to deem Roman innocent in this.
Well, but he's all talk. He's got nothing.
He's got something. He had something in the first video that he fucking revealed. Against Josh Duhamel. He had email and text. You don't think he has that on Roman? I'm hearing Roman gave him about 8 to 10 different aliases so that his bases were covered. And if that's the case, goodbye, Roman. Let Johnny Bravo do his thing, please. Do you understand how meticulous it is for someone in his position, a filmmaker or an upcoming filmmaker in his shoes, who wants to get his name out there? If this is all credible information, do you know what this is going to do for John Bravo? He might have a job landing somewhere. People might look for him as an investigative inside reporter or whatever for a big fucking news outlet, right? He's getting his brand, his name, his business out there, right? But everybody's like,
well, you don't have anything. What's the holdup, man? Roman is innocent.
Roman, we don't know if he's innocent or not, but we let Johnny Bravo do his job. The meticulous fucking task of covering his own bases, Bravo has to do. Get this information to the lawyers to make sure that his bases are covered so that when he reveals this information, he's not able to be sued by WWE, and that everything, all the information that's in this documentary is fucking presented in a light that's not going to get him in trouble, where he can't get sued and all this other shit. This could take weeks. So you want him to get in trouble just for the simple fact of you wanting to know if Roman is innocent or not. Let the fucking man do his job. I'm not saying that Roman is guilty, but he certainly has a fucking shitstorm awaiting him if he is guilty. And like I said, if Roman's name is associated to anything after June 2016, Roman is done. I don't want to see it, because I don't want to see anybody lose their job. But if he's that fucking stupid to conceal his identity under 10 different aliases, then he deserves to be fucking terminated, and he deserves to never see the light of day of WrestleMania ever again. And I will not stray from making a statement like that. So Strowman could be a replacement for Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar. It all depends on whether the big dog is innocent or not when it comes to Bravo's investigation. If they are true, then there's a chance that he could be forced to miss WrestleMania and some additional time. So Strowman would be brought into the fold instead. Now, however, if the allegations aren't true, then the Wrestling Observer newsletter is also claiming that WWE might go ahead and not even book Strowman in a match. So if Roman is innocent, you're going to go ahead with this failure of a main event with Brock Lesnar. When you know there's internal concern, not because of Johnny Bravo, but because of what's going on. WWE thinks their fans are fucking stupid. Now, if they wanted to do the right thing is to not leave Braun Strowman off the WrestleMania card. The right thing would be to put him in the main event. And now, I don't want to see a triple threat match. I don't want to see another triple threat match more than you want to see another triple threat match. But in this instance, it makes sense. Where else does Braun Strowman fit on this show if not in the Universal Championship? Everybody's like, oh, JD, they're going to put him in the IC title match and make that a ladder match. He has no business being in that match. He has no business with the IC title. He has no business with Rollins or Balor or The Miz for that matter. So why would you put him in there for the sake of putting him in there? It makes no sense. JD, what about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? What has the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal did for anyone in 4 years? Nothing. Nothing. The second plan would be for WWE, listen to this. Listen to this. The second plan would be WWE moving ahead with plans to use Strowman as a sideshow attraction by destroying things to leave the WWE fans in awe. So, you're going to book him in the same way that you booked him on Monday Night Raw. Hasn't that gotten old already? Braun Strowman has done enough to get everyone on his side where they want to see him succeed in WWE. Why would we want to see him at WrestleMania as a sideshow freak attraction? You know, that says a lot of what you think about Braun Strowman on your roster. A sideshow attraction. Are you fucking kidding me? If he's not worth a Universal Championship match now, he will never be worth a Universal Championship match. Ever. His stock is at its peak right now. And if you don't strike while the iron is hot, it's going to be one of those situations where, you know, too little, too late for Braun Strowman. You either put him in the match now, or you don't even book him at all at this point at WrestleMania. Wait for Monday and do a fucking hot shot title change on Monday. The guy deserves the title. The guy deserves the Universal Championship. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, you know, I've enjoyed everything that WWE's done with Braun Strowman. I honestly think that WWE has taken Braun Strowman and has hidden his weaknesses. They're trying to hide his weaknesses by booking him in gimmick match after gimmick match after gimmick match. Because they know the fucking guy can't wrestle. Still. When was the last singles match that he was in? It was against Brock Lesnar. How well did that go over? Not good. If he's not in the Universal Championship match at WrestleMania, then you aren't giving Braun Strowman what he deserves. More people would be very much in tune with seeing Braun Strowman kick Brock Lesnar to the curb than Roman Reigns. Seriously. You know, poor Roman. Poor Roman. WWE's pushing Roman as its guy. Meanwhile, everybody else around him is more sought after and more wanted than Roman Reigns in the fans' eyes. Well, what else does Braun Strowman need to do? What else does Seth Rollins need to do? What else does Finn Balor need to do? What else does everybody else need to fucking do to make WWE realize that Roman is not the chosen one? Just like I said at the Internet Darlings last year. Same exact words that I uttered. He's not the chosen one. He will never be the chosen one. If that's not the case, then WWE might choose to place him in the IC title match. Negative. He has no business being there, and I, for one, want to see what Miz, Balor, and Rollins can do on their own without any outside interference. They had the best main event of all of Monday Night Raw last year in May. Let them do it again. Storyline doesn't even concern Braun Strowman. You're going to put Braun Strowman in the Intercontinental Championship match with fucking 3.5 weeks to go before WrestleMania? 4 weeks to go before WrestleMania? Come on. That's just stretching. Now, if WWE plans on putting Strowman into the fold, then a healthy Samoa Joe could be added to make it another multi-man title match. Yeah, just make it multi-man Mania. Why doesn't Joe come back and state that he wants to pick up right where he left off? He wants Roman. Obviously, you can't have Roman until he gets done with Brock Lesnar. So, Braun Strowman's going to come out and say, listen, I want the champion. Why don't you put Roman and Lesnar in the main event? Meanwhile, we have a number one contendership built up. Besides that, Strowman versus Joe. I'd rather see Strowman and Joe, which I've been booking for months now at WrestleMania. Why wouldn't you book that match? If Joe is healthy, why not give us that match at WrestleMania instead of giving Braun Strowman some sideshow freak attraction as if he's in the fucking circus? Ridiculous. That's what I would do. That's my number one for Braun Strowman. Finally, with talk of WWE giving a lot more importance to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal alongside the speculated push for the winner. Yes, speculated push with the Andre the Giant HBO documentary coming out that Tuesday, April 10th. WWE might go ahead and give the win to a huge name, although this has been reported by other sources and not the most recent edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I would rather Strowman and Joe, and I would have either Rusev or Elias win the Battle Royal. That's what I would do. But what the fuck do I know? I'm some idiot living in his mother's basement who's a failure as a podcaster. Says the fat slobs that troll Twitter all day long, who say they work, but yet they don't. Maybe your fingers are getting a workout, but you're still ingesting 7,600 calories per day. Fucking idiots. Seems like Strowman is currently attached to half of the card in many other ways. In fact, at one point, he was even speculated to team up with Ronda Rousey to battle Triple H and Stephanie McMahon based on the tease we saw at the Survivor Series. As impressive as Strowman is destroying things, he certainly deserves a big and memorable match at WrestleMania 34. You've done all this work, and now you want to put him as a sideshow attraction, freak, circus. Come on. You either give him Samoa Joe and you build towards his summer, or you put him in the main event.
But they won't touch the main event because it's Roman, and the Roman Empire has to stand tall, man.
Fuck out of here, dude. You're doing a huge disservice to Braun Strowman. And if that's the way they're treating Braun Strowman, do you ever expect WWE to give him a legit title run? Come on. And who wants to see Roman versus Braun Strowman again? Who? I don't. That's the other thing with this Roman supposed title win. Who does he have left? Who's going to challenge him that we haven't seen already? Watch him put AJ Styles in his path and he fucking crumbles AJ Styles. Fucking ridiculous, man. Braun Strowman versus Samoa Joe, to me, is the best option. If Joe is healthy, which I hope he is. I don't want Joe to miss a WrestleMania again. He was healthy last year. They didn't even feature him on the show. And he was Triple H's muscle. Didn't make a fucking appearance on that show. Now he's going to miss WrestleMania this year. Get him on the show. Put him with someone who can do damage. Strowman versus Joe, I think, would be a great WrestleMania match. Let's do it. Let the CM Punk rumors begin, man. CM Punk. Will he be at All In? I hope so, because I'll be there. I'll be there. The Elite and the All In show venue has been announced. It's official on the latest episode of Being the Elite. It was announced that the All In show, taking place on September 1st, will take place at the Sears Center Arena in Chicago, Illinois. The rumors about Chicago being the city first surfaced a couple of weeks ago in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. No matches have been announced for the show, but the following names have been confirmed for the show: Cody Rhodes, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, Stephen Amell, Kenny Omega, and Tessa Blanchard. There is no doubt that Chicago being announced as the city will ignite the CM Punk rumors all the way up until the show actually takes place. If CM Punk versus Kenny Omega is the main event, I expect the internet to fucking cease to exist that entire week. As previously mentioned, Punk has told friends that he has no interest in returning to professional wrestling, but if he ever changes his mind, that the first person he would call is Matt Jackson. Being the Elite included footage from Saturday's Ring of Honor Manhattan Mayhem show. The city and venue announcement comes at the end of that particular episode. Their goal is to fill the place with 10,000 people. I think they will. That is not going to be an issue. I will be in Chicago. I've already booked my hotel at the Marriott Northwest, I believe. So I will be there. Matt from Wrestle Rumble will be there as well. So the next thing we have to do is plan a huge meet and greet. So if anybody is in Chicago, I don't want a hotel bar. I think that's a little cheesy. I want a sports bar atmosphere, man. I want fucking chaos. I want fucking everybody that's a part of this fucking community here on Off the Script to be there in Chicago. I want to have the biggest fucking meet and greet that weekend for anybody. For anybody that's a podcaster. So if you're in Chicago, if you live in Chicago, and you can recommend me some fucking bars that I will enjoy, preferably with a decent beer menu selection, let me know. Let me know, and I will plan accordingly, man. But I can't wait. The All In show announced. I'm happy it's in Chicago. I'm looking forward to visiting Chicago for the first time that weekend, September 1st. JD is going all in. WWE planning on opening a second performance center? I think it's pretty fair to say that the WWE Performance Center in Orlando has been a success so far for WWE in terms of developing talent. A new report suggests that WWE could be opening up a second performance center, which will focus on international talent. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reports that there has been talk about WWE opening up a second performance center in the Middle East. This would be focused on talent from the Middle East and India. Meltzer refers to, I wanted to say something sarcastic, but I refrained. Meltzer refers to both as a high priority for the company. This is on the heels of WWE announcing the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. WWE has signed a 10-year deal with the country, and it will reportedly be a major base for them moving forward. Everybody wanted my thoughts on this greatest Royal Rumble, which will feature 50 men in Saudi Arabia. I wish WWE didn't use the moniker or the term Royal Rumble. Why couldn't they use something fresh and new? I mean, I understand that probably this will not be televised, that this is just something for that audience over there, and they're using the Royal Rumble name as a promotional tool. But, you know, for us old school heads who listen to this fucking garbage, the Royal Rumble is only once a year. There is no greatest Royal Rumble. There's only one Royal Rumble, and that takes place the last Sunday of January and has WrestleMania implications. I don't know what the fuck this is. So if WWE wanted to, you know, have something like this, why couldn't they come up with a different name? I don't think it necessarily takes away from the essence that is the Royal Rumble, but, you know, the Royal Rumble should be heralded and perceived as something special that happens once a year. I don't need two Royal Rumbles happening in the same year, one being the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. So what happened to the one that Nakamura won, where he eliminated Reigns? To me, you can't get any greater than that. That's my greatest Royal Rumble. I don't know what the fuck this is. Apparently you're going to have Jinder Mahal and Triple H and Kurt Angle and everybody. Everybody's going to be in this thing. I don't know what they're going to win, but it's just for the Saudi Arabia audience. But WWE planning another performance center, listen. You know, the Performance Center is state of the art. You know, everybody that comes in through the independents and signs with the WWE, they go right to the Performance Center. So having two Performance Centers, one in Florida, in Orlando, and then one located somewhere in the Middle East, fine by me, man. The more talent that's being groomed for WWE, the better it will be. So WWE obviously planning for their future. Can't get any better than that, man. I'm open to that for sure. Two NXT talents. Speaking of NXT in the Performance Center, two NXT talents rumored to already be headed to the main roster. 205 Live has received a facelift over the past couple of weeks with Triple H in charge behind the scenes. We've seen a few NXT superstars participate in the Cruiserweight title tournament, including Roderick Strong and Buddy Murphy. According to a new rumor, they could be joined down the road by two names in particular. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer mentions that two names that he heard as being groomed for 205 Live in the future are Lio Rush and Ricochet. The first name, obviously, Lio Rush. Rush got himself into some backstage heat from his tweet following Emma's release. This obviously angered a lot of superstars in the WWE, including Bray Wyatt, who responded. Rush isn't getting a push in NXT at the moment, but Meltzer says there are many who are very high on his ability to be a star. The second name that Meltzer has heard is Ricochet. Now, Lio Rush, I know what the guy is capable of. I've called two of his matches in House of Glory. I've seen him on the independent circuit. The guy is phenomenal. If Lio Rush is going anywhere, I think 205 Live for him is absolutely fantastic. And the way that Triple H is handling 205 Live now, Lio Rush would be fucking unreal on 205 Live. They just need to move 205 Live away from SmackDown Live. They need to get it into a smaller venue. They need to find a true home for 205 Live. Either at Full Sail or somewhere else. Have it tour. Whatever. It cannot be in front of the SmackDown crowd. It pains me to see Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy on 205 Live this week have a phenomenal pay-per-view quality match and empty seats upon empty seats upon empty seats in that arena because nobody gives a shit. Gotta do better than that, man. Gotta do better than that. Lio Rush would thrive on 205 Live. Ricochet? I'm a little hesitant on Ricochet on 205 Live. And the only reason why I say that is, A, I don't think... it's not that I don't think Ricochet is going to succeed on 205 Live. Ricochet has all the makings to be a WWE champion. That's why I don't want him on 205 Live. Do you really want to confine Ricochet to a bubble as like 205 Live? I don't understand that logic. The guy is better than what 205 Live is doing. This guy is Raw, SmackDown worthy. Universal Championship, Intercontinental Championship, WWE Championship worthy. Why would you not want that on SmackDown or Monday Night Raw in the future? I don't get it. If you're going to move Ricochet to 205 Live, then you need to take the restraints off the weight limit. Ricochet is not the talent you are going to confine and handcuff behind a fucking weight limit. Is Ricochet even 205? Looks bigger than 205 to me. That's why Lio Rush is a no-brainer for that. Based on his weight, his size, his speed, his style, everything. I'm not sure about Ricochet being on 205 Live. He will probably thrive there with Triple H being in charge and Triple H knowing how to handle proper talent. But you are doing a major crime to the talent that is Ricochet if you're going to hide him behind 205 Live and not expose him to the wide audience that he deserves and his talent deserves to be showcased to. I don't like that at all. Lio Rush, yes. The more we see of Lio Rush, the more you're going to fall in love with him. Ricochet has the makings of a WWE champion. Who the fuck doesn't want to see Ricochet versus AJ Styles? Ricochet versus Nakamura. Ricochet versus Kevin Owens. Ricochet versus Randy Orton. The list goes on and on. Ricochet versus Seth Rollins. Do I even need to fucking continue? Come on. Got to do better than that, man. Speaking of 205 Live, 205 Live could be getting new championships in the very near future. WWE adding Cruiserweight Tag Team Championships. Although fans are skeptical of Vince McMahon's decision to bring back the XFL, some are looking at it as a blessing in disguise, as his new focus means he won't be controlling each aspect of WWE program. Excuse me. Had egg salad for lunch and it's fucking coming up. Pretty sure you didn't want to hear that. The program in question is 205 Live. And the Cruiserweights now are under Triple H and they have direction. Right? Everybody thought this show was doomed. And it looked like it was going right into the fucking toilet. However, the XFL focus means Triple H will now be overlooking things, with fans hopeful that his fresh outlook will make it a successful brand like NXT. His personal project in NXT, which right now is at the very best it has ever been. The main focus that has been pointed out since the game has taken over is that he's moving away from the emphasis on character building that Vince preferred. Instead, before I even continue, some guys in 205 Live would benefit under, character-driven, directive, like Vince McMahon wanted, a.k.a. Drew Gulak, That's the type of guy that would thrive underneath that. Because him coming in and coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic, he was bland and boring. He was very vanilla. But Drew Gulak has, obviously gotten WWE ready. He's familiar with what's going on, and he's developed some sort of personality for himself. So it worked well for him. However, the XFL focus means Triple H will now be overlooking things on 205 Live, as you know. Moving away from that character-driven emphasis, he's switching to more of a match focus with unique selling points that will be crazy, like the Cruiserweights need to be doing, that nobody else will be doing. And this explains why the Cruiserweight Classic was so well received. It was also well received because it came off as a traditional sporting event. Triple H, however, has decided to make another major change to 205 Live. Reports emerged following Monday Night Raw that 205 Live will see the introduction of tag team titles to go along with the current Cruiserweight Championship. This report revealed that the new championship titles could be introduced on 205 Live shortly after WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans next month. The first major indication we have had this week to suggest that WWE is moving ahead with the tag team division on 205 Live is that they booked Hideo Itami and Akira Tozawa to squash local competitors to tease that the titles are indeed coming. Will we see another tournament? I hope so. Will these teams make sense is the other question, I have my thoughts on this in a second. It's a very brief one, too. To further cement the story and the arrival of titles, renowned championship belt account Belt Fan Dan has revealed the artwork for what seems to be tag team titles and what they will look like. I don't have pictures, so I can't show you. I'm sure you guys can find it on Google somewhere. He's well known for reliable information when it comes to any design changes WWE is planning or even new introductions that are on the horizon. The plate shape seems to be the same as the current Cruiserweight Championship, but the clear difference is the inclusion of tag team across the main plate. It will be interesting to see what this looks like once it's officially been created. This isn't the only new championship Triple H is deciding to introduce either. The NXT brand is introducing the North American Championship to NXT, which will be a mid-card title to go along with the NXT Women's and Tag Team Championships on their third brand. Ladder match will determine at TakeOver New Orleans the new North American champion. With the Cruiserweight division getting some importance in the tag team scene, the natural next step will finally give the female this opportunity as well as it comes to tag team wrestling. Quick opinion on this. I think it's great. I think this solidifies 205 Live as a more serious brand. It gives those, because realistically, how many of those people can obviously vie for the Cruiserweight Championship at the same time? It gives others, which right now, the roster seems stacked. It gives others opportunities to fight for something other than the Cruiserweight Championship, which is the main championship on that show. But I'm going to do one better, and I thought about this even before this news of a championship, tag team championship, was going to be revealed. If WWE and Triple H really want to make 205 Live different, right? And they're going to introduce women's tag team championships. If they really want to make 205 Live different, and they want to take 205 Live on the road, and they want to have 205 Live tour, right? That's their ultimate goal. They want to make it another standout brand like NXT. Why don't we get something like Lucha Underground does? Why don't we get a trios tag team championship? I don't understand that. That's what I think would be better. A trios tag team championship. Have a small tournament. A bracket of 4 teams. 4 teams. You know? You have semifinals and then finals. Because realistically, how many of the roster are you going to use up for a trios championship? They got to make sense. Right? I think to make 205 Live stand out, to have them be different, to have it be special. Instead of giving us a generic tag team title scene on 205 Live, let's go one further and do a trios championship. What happened with that trios tag team of, what was it? Grand Metalik, it was Kalisto, and it was that other fucking guy. I can't think of his name. I don't know why I can't think of his name. That other Mexican guy there, the other masked guy. I don't know. I forgot his name. I'm drawing a blank right now. I apologize, but you guys get my point. I think that would make 205 Live stand out. Let me know what you guys think about that down below, for sure. Moving on here, man. I don't know how much time am I in here? We're at 39 minutes. Gonna save some of the bigger stories for tomorrow. Definitely, I got the Del Rio story. I got news on the bar for WrestleMania, the Ultimate Deletion. Rich Swann retired, apparently, from professional wrestling. WWE still wants Rey Mysterio. I got a big story on Road Dogg. He might not be fully to blame for SmackDown Live's failure. But we'll do one more story here. And I want to go over this one here, man. NXT Talent. NXT Talent has been released. And more to come in the coming days. Abby Lath has been released from her WWE contract, but she is not the only one to be let go. Sage Beckett, who was rumored, who was teasing an inclusion in the Bray Wyatt Sister Abigail story. Sage Beckett would have made a very good Sister Abigail. Sage Beckett has also been released. She was in the Mae Young Classic. She was trained by the Dudleys. She didn't outright say it on Twitter that she was released, did Sage Beckett, but there is word going around the Performance Center that she was released. Also, according to Casey Michael from Squared Circle Sirens, is reporting that Gu Guangming is also gone. Whoever the fuck that is, I don't know. It sounds like some fucking Chinese restaurant in the East Village, man. I don't know who the fuck that is. Whoever he is, he's gone. He was signed in 2016, but had yet to be featured on television, but did work some live events. Former Seattle Seahawks running back Demetrius Bronson looks to be gone as well. He signed a contract in 2016. I'm hearing he has a very serious concussion, and he really hasn't done much since he was given a status or a concussion syndrome, whatever. He hasn't done much since that concussion as well. Reports say expect more cuts in the coming months because they have more people under contract than any other time in their history. Wrestlers that have not been featured on TV should be worried at this point. Listen, if NXT right now, television-wise, is fucking filled to the max, there's not going to be any room for these people on television. Abby Lath, I was surprised by. I thought Abby Lath was very good in the Mae Young Classic. I don't know why they would get rid of her. So it's not going to take her long to get back on the independent circuit and start, doing what she needs to do. So Abby Lath is gone. I was surprised by that. Sage Beckett, I really didn't care for in the Mae Young Classic. That's not going to fucking make me lose sleep. Gu Guangming, whatever the fuck this guy is. I don't know if is he serving pork fried rice? I don't know what the fuck's going on there. I'm hungry for Chinese food now. Gu Guangming is also gone. Goodbye. Demetrius Bronson, sorry to hear that you got a concussion, but I don't need any more dual sport athletes coming into the world of professional wrestling. We got enough of those. But more people are coming into the WWE than ever before. Obviously, there's not going to be a spot for everybody. So more cuts are coming. NXT actually loses money. NXT generates no revenue for WWE. I think last year they lost, I don't know, Jim Cornette reported something, maybe $15 to $20 million they lost last year on NXT. Probably even more than that. So obviously, this is a cost-cutting measure. So if you're not being utilized on TV, if you haven't really been seen on TV, you might be fearful for your job right now because more cuts are coming in NXT. And I feel like I should go on with one more. I feel like I didn't give you guys enough news today. What else do I got? Let me do the Rey Mysterio story. This is a quick one. Do you want Rey Mysterio back in the WWE? Of course I do. I think Rey's great. I think Rey in Lucha Underground was fantastic. But Rey Mysterio in the Royal Rumble, number 27, that video on WWE's YouTube page did almost 14 million views. Everybody was fucking thrilled that Rey Mysterio was back in the WWE, at least for one night. Mysterio and WWE left on good terms, which meant there was always a chance to see him return, especially since WWE struggled to replace him ever since he left. To begin negotiations for return, both Mysterio and Triple H were previously scheduled to have a meeting that would see former WWE Champion Rey Mysterio make his official return. This is despite the fact that it's public knowledge that Mysterio doesn't want to make a full-time return. The two were scheduled to meet at the WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, and luck doesn't seem to be on Mysterio's side as he recently suffered a bicep injury. He thought he tore his bicep at Northeast Wrestling's WrestleFest event. However, it turns out that Triple H originally called off their meeting so the game could travel to Saudi Arabia to finalize a mega deal over there. The one we talked about, the 10-year deal in the greatest Royal Rumble. This deal will see WWE hold live events in the country while they'll be hosting a 50-man Royal Rumble there too. The assumption since then has been that Mysterio's status with WWE is now up in the air because of his injury, as WWE prefer to sign stars that are healthy 100%. SmackDown Live star Shelton Benjamin is a prime example of this, as he had to wait to make his return, despite being advertised months earlier. And then WWE found out that he had torn his rotator cuff, and he had to sit out 7 months. And then they signed him to a contract. So all of the rumors surrounding a potential Rey Mysterio role at WrestleMania have seemed to pretty much wither down to nothing. However, sources say, including Cage Side Seats, they are reporting some good news for Mysterio and fans of the 619 Master. They're claiming that Mysterio's arm injury is not to believe to be a complete bicep tear, although the severity of it has yet to be confirmed. Mysterio was examined by a doctor earlier this week, and it's being said that he can move his arm, which is a good sign. And I know he's going to be wrestling Jushin Thunder Liger at New Japan's event over on Long Beach. So he might be able to do that. Knowing Mysterio, he probably will not let the fans down or not let New Japan down because that's a big marquee match. Had it been a complete tear, he wouldn't be able to move it at all. But what this means is that WWE and Triple H still have plans in place to meet Mysterio about making a deal despite his injury. This is probably like Drew McIntyre's injury. It wasn't a complete tear. And McIntyre right now is a cunt's hair away from returning. So McIntyre is 2 months ahead of schedule. So that's great news. If the plan was to meet with him with a complete bicep tear, then it looks highly likely that WWE will be keen on bringing him back and signing him to a deal before he recovers fully and other offers come in. Mysterio has already displayed an interest in facing someone like AJ Styles at WrestleMania, but he could have an entertaining match against pretty much anybody on the roster. With WWE also doing a special on Mysterio for the reason they brought Alberto Del Rio to the WWE headquarters, that's what everybody is saying, but he did meet with Vince McMahon on top of filming footage for Mysterio, show. It looks like WWE is going to be interested in bringing him back regardless. Obviously, WWE is going to want to sign him because Rey, they don't want him to go to TNA. They don't want him to sign exclusively with Lucha Underground. They want Rey. The fans want Rey. WWE wants Rey. You know, an injured Rey under WWE contract is better than a Rey Mysterio that's going to go somewhere else. Sign the fucking guy so you have him, rehabilitate him, get him down at the Performance Center. He'll be good to go in 4 months. He'll be back before SummerSlam. So let's do it. If I'm WWE and I'm looking at a injured 60% Rey Mysterio with a partial biceps tear, I'm still signing Rey Mysterio. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit at all. WWE wants Rey Mysterio. They should go out and sign Rey Mysterio. No questions asked. We will see Mysterio in WWE. That's everything I got, guys. Thank you so much. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. I will be back tomorrow with more news and rumors, and we're going to do, because Fastlane's trash, we're going to do the preview and predictions for Fastlane on Sunday. So make sure you guys do that. We're going to go over all the news and rumors on Saturday, and then Fastlane preview and predictions on Sunday. If you enjoyed this episode of Off the Script, kindly hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for part 2 of episode 212 of Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.